Hello and welcome. I'm going to be doing a book haul today and I'm really excited. It's been a while since I've had a good old-fashioned like big book haul. So yeah, this is all books that I picked up in the month of May. I think April I didn't pick up any books, and these I had some from free libraries, one was a present, and then a bunch came from my favorite thing, a Goodwill, where every book is like $3. So yeah, I love getting cheap books, and the first one is just like super interesting because I had no idea what it was, but I was like, the title made me want to love it. And this is Women Beware of Women by Thomas Middleton. And you know immediately, like, this is a good old-fashioned book. And if you've been here a while, you know that I like random classics. I like books that comment on women in history. Sometimes like by women because I find that really fascinating, but also sometimes by men and the ways in which like men talk about women in history, which is just often really problematic, but also super interesting. And I just have a collection of like weird books that I just really love. So I'm really excited. This is a collection of plays that consist of A Chaste Maid in Cheapside, which is just a great title, Women Beware of Women, The Changeling, and A Game at Chess. So all of those sound fantastic. He is kind of a contemporary of Shakespeare and actually John Donne, who I recently read a biography about, super infinite. So I'm more interested in this era, and he was born in 1580 and then lived until the 1630s, I believe. So I'm really interested to see the ways in which he talks about writing and the ways in which he writes women, because these definitely sound like they are kind of romance or about women and maybe even beware of women kind of thing going on. So yeah, interested in this. I like the title. I love these Oxford classics. They make me happy. So yeah. And then on my same little free library hunt, I got The Impossible City by Cheung. This is a Hong Kong memoir. I've heard that it's more of a personal memoir than a biography about the city, which is what I expect. I love memoirs. I love kind of specific ones. I'm always really tense about memoirs that look at really heated, like, foreignness, I want to say, because like I love heated in general, but I feel like sometimes the way that we can like other different countries and stuff like that really bother me, like all of the ones that are like surviving North Korea. Not that I think that North Korea is like peace or whatever, but I'm like, is that always going to be sensationalized? So I do actually like that it's more personal rather than like political in the context, because you get what I'm saying, like where things can be like really clickbaity. And I think that that's why, even though I thought that was really interesting and I love memoirs, I've been a little bit sensitive about getting it or reading it. I'm hoping that it's good. I'm hoping that it's not too much into sensationalized, but more in the personal. I really love looking at the ways in which people understand that the personal is political. And then this one was an utter surprise because I just like met my friend and she was like, hey, have a book. And she's like, I got it. And you know, I know you love Shakespeare. So talking about Shakespeare, these are his sonnets. And I have his sonnets here, and this is my first collection. And I think do I have any annotations? Oh yeah, I have some annotations and stuff. But this is like a really cheap book that I got from, you know, Chapters a long time ago. But it is much smaller and harder to read and stuff. So I'm really excited to have like this one, which is bigger than my face, and I can really like annotate the heck out of. And actually, my interesting story with the sonnets is I started, I don't even know when, and then it was somewhere in like 2021 when I revisited them and I just loved them. But when I first started reading them, I really struggled to like get into the like cadence of his writing, and then throughout I felt like I really did, and I'm really excited to revisit them because the wording and the longer I spend with Shakespeare, the more I really love his writing more than anything, and I understand why he's a classic. And I know that that's like such, you know, a classic person's thing to say. So I'm really excited because I got all of these at Goodwill in like a 15-minute stop, and I was just like, I felt so lucky. These are all Canadian authors, and several of them are stories that I read and really, really enjoyed, or I've had with really high recommendations. First, we're going to begin with How to Pronounce Knife, and this is just such a beautiful book. It won Canada Reads a few years ago, and I really just enjoy the stories in here and the ways in which it looks at Lao immigrants and their stories in Canada, and the ways in which the challenges face, and the way in people interpret people's issues versus the interprets, and also the Canadian language and how weird it is, because like knife obviously is not phonetical or anything, but then people will be like, why can't you pronounce our language, it's so easy? And then it's like, knife? Have you thought about the word knife? Anyways. And then the next book is Hana Carries On, and this is set in Toronto. I believe my recommendation comes glowingly from Cara from the Wilde Book Garden, because she has talked about this book and her love about it for such a long time. And yeah, this is a retelling of the Bennett sisters and Pride and Prejudice, I believe. So I'm super excited. Oh, it's like the floppy books that like just open and stay open, and I'm just such excited for this book. The next two books are like books that are like in my soul that I love so much. And this is The Inconvenient Indian by Thomas King. This is a book that like is just a really good history of Canada and the United States and our deplorable treatment of Indigenous people. And it's also really funny when also really serious and stuff like that. Like he tells it from a personal narrative point and just like really goes off, but also is like funny. And anyways, I just really enjoyed the ways in which he told the story and how much I learned from it and all these things. And Thomas King is a local author to me. He lives like 35 minutes away from me. So super excited. One of the people that I help with academic stuff like had this book assigned for her, and I was just like over the moon. She was like, I had to write a book report about this book, and I was like, yes, I will help you. I was just like so happy that I was in class and stuff. And then the next book is You Hold Me Up by Monica Gray Smith and Danielle. This is a book that I actually have a very short review, just kind of loving picture books and the ways in which it does. And like, I'll go through a little bit. Like, it has beautiful art. And I feel like I should want to share this with like my nephews or with other children in my life, but I also kind of want to keep it because I love this book so much. So yeah, that's my story about You Hold Me Up. It's such a beautiful book, and I'm so glad to have it in my hand. And like the fact that the book made me like sob so much, and it's like it's so puny but so good. Anyways, and I think these books were only like $129, like dang. And this is On the Trapline by David A. Robertson and Julie Flett. I've not read this book, but I have read other books by co-authored by both of them, and I'm really, really excited. Did I draw on this or did someone else draw on this? That says Pappy. That's really cute. Anyways, I can see in the like things, the narration of it. And yeah, like their art, like Julie Flett's art is just really extraordinary, and really excited to read this and have more picture books in my library. I'm really excited for that. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed my very happiness at these books. Which books have you picked up lately? Which books would you recommend based on these? Yeah, have you read these? I really recommend like all the ones that I've read are like really incredible, and the ones that I haven't read, like I'm really excited for. So yeah, I'll see you next time.